Kerkez he's not at the races. It's not working at all, is it?
And I think I said, you and I, before the game, looking at the United side and him, the fact that he was playing Diallo on that on that right flank and Mbeumo as well. It was possibly, for one of the first times, it was possibly how we saw the benefits of the way Amorim plays, because it really can target a fullback such as Kerkez, who is just not at the races and he looks a little bit overawed by the whole challenge. I think I wouldn't have. I mean, we did our teams in here the other day. I wouldn't have picked him. I had Robertson starting that one just for his presence and for his experience in this fixture.
Yeah.
He's having a tough time, and he's come from an environment in Bournemouth where he was so good and he was so in tune with how they played. And look, it's not. I don't think it's so much a personal thing. I think it's the fact that the team isn't functioning. But I'd almost say, of the individuals, he's the one. He's the one that individually his bad performances are sticking out, and it comes from and fair play to United, they targeted that. And as I say, to have Amad Diallo and Mbeumo, it was a little bit too much for him, he got caught up in the afternoon, I think, and it didn't work out for him, and yeah, it was a bit difficult to watch him actually at times. I found it.
Yeah, I said a few weeks ago on the pod that I'm a bit worried by him, and nothing he's done since has changed that. I think Robertson has to come in. This is the whole point of having this situation that you've got at left back, where you've got a young player who is the future of the position at the club, and an experienced, dependable pro like Andy Robertson who can come in and guide the younger players when they go through a little bit of a tough time. So it's crying out for Robertson to come in. It has been for a few weeks. I just wonder whether Slot thinks you have to play Kerkez through this difficult patch and get him through the other side of it. But at the moment, he just looks a fish out of water. There was the period in the second half, wasn't there, where Van Dijk tries to clear it, sort of misses it, and
hits him in the face.
Kerkez is a bit caught out by it and nearly scores an own goal because of it. And the one that probably summed it up for me was in the first half. He goes to take a throw in, and he's caught in about three minds. It's a foul throw, and he throws it straight to United, and United get a throw in as a result of it. And it's just that idea that he's just a bit scrambled at the moment. It's all a bit.
There's one in the second half as well where he throws it to where Gakpo was when Gakpo was making the run up the line.
I missed that. You pointed that out to me. I looked up and I was like, well, what happened there? Because Liverpool had a throw in, so I looked down to whatever I was doing. It's just a bit frantic at the moment. And I think that's how he is. I think that's how he plays, and I think they are his strengths when he's blood and thunder and energetic and aggressive, and the parts of what has made him a £40 million Liverpool left back. But at the moment, it's just a young lad who's struggling to adapt, and there's no shame in Andy Robertson coming in and just guiding through for the next few weeks. So I mean, we'll see, won't we? But yeah. He's having a tough time.
There are a couple of other moments with Kerkez that stood out for me as well. The back pass where Mamardashvili bails him out big time.
Yeah.
But there was also that lunge on Amad where he just jumps over it with absolute ease. And if you're a defender going to ground, you're feeling a bit desperate. For him to make him look so silly there.
He dives in a lot, doesn't he? He does dive in. And there are, again, I said it the other day, there are raw materials there that, as Paul says, that should they all come together, would make him a very good Liverpool left back. It's just that you're seeing the other side of that now when things aren't going well, and I mean the word is rash, isn't it? He just looks incredibly rash. He's diving in. I think he's spreading a bit of fear in the rest of the back four. There was a couple of glares from Van Dijk towards him, and the incident when it hit him in the face. I mean, he would have just gone home with that one in. But it was he's. I think he needs to be taken out. Personally, I think he needs to be taken out of the team and let him. What is there now? There's Frankfurt and there's Brentford. When you put him back in for Palace in the League Cup, I'd be doing that.
There was an incident when I was at open training in Japan, and we were close enough to sort of hear what they were saying at times. And you mentioned that about Kerkez going to ground. There was a little incident when he did it in one of the small sort of possession games they were having. He goes to ground, Van Dijk's to his right as he would be on the pitch, and I heard Van Dijk say to him, "What are you doing, bro? Like, almost like we don't do that here. We don't go to ground. We don't slide in like that." You sort of jockeyed him, and he does look like he's still struggling to take on the sort of weight of expectation at a club like Liverpool. And it was different at Bournemouth, wasn't it? You know, I think I've said this a few times now, with the greatest of respect to Bournemouth, who, you know, I love watching them as a team. I think they're a real amazing force. But if they lose the next 3, not too many people will blink. But at Liverpool, when that happens, this is the knock-on effect of playing for such a global club. You know, the intense scrutiny is always there on you. And like Mark says, I absolutely would take him out the team myself and put him back in for Palace and just maybe ease your way into it that way.
Both in agreement on dropping Kerkez then, but what about Mohamed Salah? Another difficult day for him.